Spotify is one of the most popular music streaming platforms in the world, offering millions of tracks to users. However, sometimes new updates bring unwanted changes, bugs, or compatibility issues. If you find yourself preferring an older version of Spotify, downgrading to a previous version may be your solution. In this blog, we'll walk you through how to downgrade your Spotify version on different platforms, including Android, iOS, and PC. Why downgrade Spotify? There are several reasons you might want to downgrade your Spotify app. Compatibility issues. The latest version might not work well with your device. Buggy updates. Sometimes new updates introduce bugs that affect the user experience. Preferred older features. You may prefer features or an interface from an older version of the app. Before proceeding, it's important to note that downgrading your Spotify app means you might lose some new features or performance improvements. Always ensure you're comfortable with these trade-offs. How to downgrade Spotify on Android One. Uninstall the current version. First, you need to uninstall the latest version of Spotify on your Android device. Go to Settings, Greater than Apps, Greater than Spotify, and tap Uninstall. 2. Enable installation from unknown sources. Android devices restrict the installation of apps outside the Google Play Store by default. To install an older version of Spotify, you need to enable unknown sources. Go to Settings Greater than Security and toggle on Install Unknown Apps for the browser or file manager app you'll use to download the APK file. 3. Download the older version APK. Visit a trusted third-party APK site such as APK Mirror or APK Pure. Make sure to download a version of Spotify that you want to downgrade to. Ensure the version you choose is compatible with your device's OS version to avoid any potential issues. 4. Install the APK. After downloading the APK file, tap on the file to start the installation process. Follow the on-screen instructions to complete the installation. 5. Log in and restore your account. After the installation is complete, launch Spotify. Log into your Spotify account, and you should have access to your playlists and settings as usual. How to downgrade Spotify on iOS, iPhone, iPad. Unfortunately, downgrading Spotify on iOS is not as straightforward as it is on Android. Apple restricts app installations to versions available on the App Store. However, if you have a previous version backed up through iTunes, here's how you can restore it. 1. Check for iTunes backup, if applicable. Open iTunes or Finder on macOS Catalina and later, and check if you have a previous version of the Spotify app backed up on your computer. If you have an older version of Spotify saved, you can install it again by connecting your iPhone or iPad to your computer and syncing the app. 2. Use third-party tools. Advanced users. Some third-party tools like iMazing or Cydia Impactor allow users to download and install older versions of apps on iOS. This process can be a bit tricky and requires a certain level of technical knowledge. Keep in mind that using third-party apps can violate Apple's terms of service and may cause security risks. 3. Request an older version via Apple support. Sometimes, Apple support may be able to assist you with getting an older version of Spotify if you've previously downloaded it. It's worth reaching out to Apple's customer service if this option is critical for you. Note, the process for downgrading on iOS is quite limited, and Apple does not offer a direct method for reverting to an older app version. If you're unable to downgrade using the above methods, your best option is to wait for a fix in a future Spotify update. How to downgrade Spotify on Windows PC 1. Uninstall the current version of Spotify. On Windows, go to the Start menu and open Settings. Navigate to Apps, then find Spotify in the list and click Uninstall. 2. Download the older version of Spotify. Head to a website offering previous versions of apps, such as oldversion.com or Spotify's own archives, if available. Download the version of Spotify you want to install. 3. Install the older version. Run the installer for the older Spotify version you downloaded. The setup will automatically install the older version of Spotify on your PC. 4. Disable Auto Update. Optional but recommended. Spotify automatically updates itself unless you disable this feature. To prevent the app from updating to the latest version after downgrading, you may need to use a tool like Spotify Blocker or adjust the settings to prevent automatic updates. Log in and